Of course, I never mention it to them anymore. I am too wise. But I keep watch of it all the same. There are things in that paper that nobody knows but me, or ever will. Behind the outside pattern, the dim shapes get clearer every day. It's always the same shape, only very numerous. And it is like a woman stooping down and creeping out behind that pattern. I don't like it a bit. I wonder, I begin to think, I wish John would take me away from here. It's so hard to talk to John about my case, because he is so wise and because he loves me so much. But I tried last night. It was moonlight. The moon shines in all around, just as the sun does. I hate to see it sometimes. It creeps so slowly and always comes in by one window or another. John was asleep and I hated to wake him, so I kept still and watched the moonlight on the undulating wallpaper that I felt so creepy. The faint figure behind seemed to shake the pattern, just as if she wanted to get out. I got up softly and went to feel if the paper did move. And when I came back, John was awake. "What is it, little girl?" he said. Don't go walking about like that. You'll get cold." I thought it was a good time to talk, so I told him that I really was not gaining here, and I wished that he would take me away. "Why, darling," he said, "our lease will be up in 3 weeks, and I can't see how we can leave before. The repairs are not done at home, and I cannot possibly leave town just now. Of course, if you were in danger, I could and would, but you really are better here, dear, whether you can see it or not. I am a doctor, dear, and I know. You are gaining flesh and colour. Your appetite is better. I feel really much easier about you." "I do weigh a bit more," I said. "Not much, and my appetite may be better in the evening, but when you are here, but it is worse in the morning when you are away." "Bless her little heart," he said with a big hug. "She shall be sick as she pleases, but now let's improve and the shining hours and go to sleep and talk in the morning." "And you won't go away?" I asked gloomily. "Why, how can I, dear? It's only 3 weeks more, and then we will take a nice trip in a few days while Jenny is getting the house ready. Really, dear, you are much better." "Better in body, perhaps," I began, and stopped short, for he sat up straight and looked at me with such a stern, reproachful look that I could not say another word. "My darling," he said, "I beg for you, for my sake and for our child's sake, as well as for your own, you will never for one instant let that idea in your mind. There is nothing so dangerous, so fascinating to a temperament like yours. It is false and foolish fancy. Can you not trust me as a physician when I tell you so?" So of course I said no more. We went to sleep before long. Well, he thought I was asleep first, but I wasn't, and lay there for hours trying to decide whether the front pattern and the back pattern really did move together or separately. On a pattern like this, by daylight, there is lack of sequence, a defiance of law. There is a consistent irritant of the normal mind. The colour is hideous enough, and unreliable enough, and infuriating enough, but the pattern is torturing. You think you have mastered it, but just as you get well underway within following it, it turns back, somersault, and there you are. It slaps you in the face, knocks you down and tramples on you. It is like a bad dream. The outside pattern is florid arabesque, reminding one of fungus. If you can imagine a toadstool in joints, an indeterminate string of toadstools, budding and sprouting in endless convolutions, why, that is something like it. That is, sometimes. There is one marked peculiarity about this paper, a thing nobody seems to notice but myself. and that is, it changes as the light changes. When the sun shoots in through the east window, I always watch for that first long, straight ray. It changes so quickly that I can never quite believe it. That is why I always watch it. By moonlight. The moon shines in all night where there is a moon. I wouldn't know it was the same paper. At night, in any kind of light, in twilight, candlelight, lamplight, and worst of all by moonlight, it becomes bars. The outside pattern, I mean, the woman behind, is plain as can be seen. I didn't realise for a long time what the thing that was that showed behind, that dim sub-pattern, but now I am quite sure it is a woman. By daylight, she is subdued, quiet. I fancy the pattern that keeps her so still. It is so puzzling. It keeps me quiet by the hour. I lie down ever so much now. John says it's good for me and to sleep all that I can. Indeed, he started the habit by making me lie down for an hour after each meal. It is a bad habit, I am convinced, for you see, I don't sleep. And that cultivates deceit, for I don't tell them I am awake. Oh no. The fact is, I am getting a little afraid of John. He seems very queer sometimes, and even Jenny has an inexplicable look. It strikes me occasionally, just as a scientific hypothesis, that perhaps it is the paper. I have watched John when he did not know I was looking, and come in the room suddenly at the most innocent excuses, and I have caught him several times looking at the paper. And Jenny too. I caught Jenny with her hand on it once. She didn't know I was in the room, and when I asked her in a very quiet voice, with the most restrained manner possible, what had she been doing with the paper, she turned around as if she had been caught stealing, and looked quite angry at me and said, "Why did I frighten her so?" Then she said that the paper stained everything it touched, and she had found yellow smooches on all my clothes and John's, and she wished we would be more careful. Did not sound that innocent. But I know she was studying that pattern, and I am determined that nobody find out but myself.